Today I want to talk to you about 5 tips for taking toddlers to Disney World. I'm going to try to get through this quick because I know your time is precious, but if you've never seen any of our videos before, I'm Allison. Me and my husband Brandon love to travel to Disney World. We love to take our 4 little kiddos, and so we like to share our travel adventures with you. We also do some personalized Disney travel planning. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. If you just want to come along for our adventures, go ahead and subscribe right now to our channel so you can see all that is to come. And we're so glad to have you here. So tip number 1 is to bring some sort of carrying device, which I love to bring our little Tush Baby. I think this is the Tush Baby Light. It's like the smaller version, which I love. I liked this in particular because it has like a little pocket. It also has really 3 pockets. It has like a button here. It has the big zipper one here. And then it also has like some side kind of pockets that you can just put, something small in. I like this because it's comfortable and it can fit easily kind of under a stroller. It's not huge. So you're gonna want this because your little toddlers still like to be carried. Even though you have a stroller, sometimes they get tired, sometimes they maybe they're teething, I don't know, they're having an off day, whatever it is, they're gonna wanna be carried and your arms get tired. Also, through the lines, you cannot bring a stroller, so you may have a little bit of a wait and you wanna save your back and your arms and all the things for a big trip ahead of you. So definitely bring something like this for your toddler. Tip number 2 is let them play. Toddlers like to move around, they like to run around, they like to get all of their little energy out. It helps them regulate everything, and it will just make their trip more enjoyable, and that will also make your trip more enjoyable. So I know they're at Disney World and there's lots of fun rides and characters and all those things, but a lot of times they just want to get out and run around. So definitely look at those playgrounds that are in your area and get some wiggle time out, especially first thing in the morning. Give them breaks for that stroller. It will make them so much happier, I promise. And Disney World has tons of places in the parks, in the resorts, for your toddler to kind of get all their little wiggles out. Okay, so tip number 3 is to bring some activities for your toddler. So I love to do this a few different ways. I always keep a few in my personal bag that I take around with me, and I keep another set in our like little restaurant bag, which I call the restaurant bag, but we can use it obviously anytime. But restaurants are particularly helpful because you're sitting down, but you can use it if you're waiting for a parade to start or something like that. Or maybe they're just sitting in the stroller and you're waiting on maybe an older kid to ride something and they're just kind of having to sit there for a second. Activities are great to have on hand. A couple things I like to bring, and I'll try to link these as well, are like these little stickers. They can just kind of make little faces. There's so many different kinds of these, but they can do like hats and faces and just kind of decorate the characters. These are super thin and easy to pack, super light. So I love to have these on hand. Little tiny toys like little princesses or little planes or cars or whatever your little one likes. We just usually bring stuff from around our house, and I'll put it in the bag, and it makes for a fun activity because they're in a different place. And then I also love to bring these guys because again, they're super thin, super lightweight, and my kids love to play with these even my big kids like to play with these while they're waiting in line, but you just kind of can draw on it, erase it. We can play hangman. The little kids can draw, and it's a great thing to have on hand for your toddlers. Number 4 is going to be to know your kid's height and know those ride requirements as far as height goes, and also kind of prepare your toddler a little bit for those things. So definitely measure your kid beforehand. If I'm your travel agent, I will have sent you a height guide by park on what the height restrictions are, so that way you can kind of know if your kid can ride something before you get there, and there's less meltdowns if maybe they really wanted to ride and couldn't ride. So definitely kind of prepare them. Look at YouTube videos and things like that for rides so that they can kind of watch watch them and see what it's like. They can watch the characters, things like that, and they kind of know a little bit going in versus just being overstimulated, you know, right away, first day in the park. They're like, what is going on here? So I think watching videos, knowing height restrictions, things like that, just kind of preparing your toddler a little bit before you get to the park and preparing yourself a little bit as well will be very helpful. Okay, number 5, which I think is probably the most important thing you can do with a toddler, is to not push them. Make sure to give them time, give them rest, go slow on days you need to go slow. Being flexible, things will not always go as planned, and just kind of keeping that in mind. I know Disney World is a big deal, and I know that you've saved, and I know that you've planned, and I know that you want this to be a wonderful trip, but I promise you it will not be if you are pushing your toddler too hard. If you are going from rope drop to close every night, several days in a row, it's really going to wear on your toddler. So make sure you're creating either rest breaks in the day, going back to your resort for a nap, or just going back for some downtime, or maybe just having some short nights and some, you know, coming in a little earlier than maybe you usually would. Think about that and really just kind of spacing out those times so that you can allow for rest for your toddler and rest for you. We are definitely not opposed to stroller naps, and we have done that many times. We've even done the, you know, kids in the stroller at night and leaving the park and they're asleep. But the next day we've allowed for them to sleep in a little. Maybe that day of we'd allow, you know, them to sleep, have a nap or something like that. So we're just kind of making sure that we're not pushing them every single day for 5 days in a row, because I promise it will blow up in your face. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope these 5 tips help you and your toddler to have a very magical time at Disney World. I love taking toddlers to Disney World. It is one of the most challenging ages, I think, but if you do it well and you do it right, I think it can be an amazing time for your little ones and for yourself.